So men pretty much treat you how you treat yourself. Let's just get that out the way. It's a reality that's uncomfortable to believe in because it sounds like it's victim blaming, you know what I'm saying? But if you treat yourself negatively, men will treat you negatively. If you don't treat yourself with respect, people are not going to treat you with respect because you are the one that tells people to respect me. It is your behavior that drives people to give you the respect you feel like you deserve. It doesn't come from anybody else but yourself. And unfortunately, a lot of us grew up in households where we weren't encouraged to be confident, where a lot of our parents maybe went through, maybe were negative towards us. Maybe they also harbor some self-hatred, some low self-esteem. And as a result, that mentality of not loving yourself, of allowing people to treat you like crap, gets transferred out onto you. Because we as babies, when we were kids, we absorbed our parents' energy. We absorbed the way our parents perceive themselves.
Children, especially infants, are incredibly perceptive and can easily absorb the emotions and mental states of their parents due to several reasons. Mirror neurons. These are a type of brain cell that respond equally when we perform an action and when we witness someone else perform the same action. Mirror neurons play a significant role in our ability to understand and empathize with others. They're thought to be a key reason why babies can pick up on their parents' emotions. Attachment theory. Developed by psychologist John Bowlby, this theory suggests that children come into the world biologically pre-programmed to form attachments with others for survival. The way parents interact with their child can influence the child's emotional growth and perception of the world. Nonverbal communication. Babies learn a lot from nonverbal cues. They pay close attention to their parents' facial expressions, tone of voice, and body language, often mirroring these behaviors and emotions. Emotional contagion. This is the phenomenon where we catch the emotions of those around us. Infants, in particular, are susceptible to emotional contagion from their parents. Modeling behavior. Children learn by observing and imitating the behavior of those around them. If a parent frequently exhibits a certain emotion or mentality, the child is likely to adopt similar patterns.
And so we learn how to treat ourselves based on how our parents treated us. So if they treated us with disrespect, if they didn't respect our self-opinion, if they didn't let us grow and be ourselves, when we grow up, we don't feel like being ourselves is attractive. We don't feel like being ourselves is permissible. As a result, we end up changing our personality based on who's in front of us. We are never really comfortable with ourselves. And so when you were growing up, you got this negative feedback, which says to you, you know what? If my mom is not attentive to me, if my mom doesn't come to me when I'm in need, if my mom reacts with anger whenever I cry, whenever I need her help, what that communicates to you is that, you know what, you're not worthy of love. You know what, you're not worthy to be soothed. So we then begin to imitate that behavior towards ourselves. It's like if your parents tells you you ain't shit, you ain't crap, you are a bad kid, you are irresponsible, you're gonna begin to tell that to yourself, right? And then especially if your parents treat you bad, never apologize, but then always expects you to forget it, always expects you to act like nothing happened, you end up treating yourself that way, where you let people mistreat you, but then you don't stand up for yourself because you fear losing them.
The psychological phenomenon is called internalized depression, which can manifest as self-disrespect and low self-esteem. This happens when individuals internalize the negative messages they receive from their parents or significant others about their worth. Another relevant concept is the cycle of abuse or intergenerational trauma. This theory suggests that individuals who are treated with disrespect or abuse during their formative years may normalize this behavior and allow others to treat them similarly in their adult life.
Right? So it's a cycle that a lot of us are in. For example, in my life, I'm a people pleaser naturally, all right? Why is it? There's a lot of reasons why. And as a result, when I was growing up, I let a lot of people take advantage of me, take advantage of my niceness, take advantage of me being someone who listens. And it actually led to people not respecting me. It consistently, wherever I went as a child, people didn't like me because, one, I was weird. I was very different. I was into Christianity. I was into meditation. I was into habits that kids my age weren't into. Kids my age were into meeting girls, right? And so my oddity caused people to see me as an outsider, cause people to sort of like just not respect me as a person as I was growing up. I had friends, don't get me wrong, I had friends, but I was one of those people who you either liked or didn't like. And so I got used to people, I would send messages to people, they wouldn't respond. I got used to people treating me with disrespect, right? Especially with Christianity, you say, forgive them, Lord, and so a lot of the times you get told by especially depending on your religion, that if somebody mistreats you, give them the other cheek, right? And so I became more of a passive, docile person. And that inspired people to disrespect me, especially women as well. And so as I grew up, I realized that I was treating myself with disrespect. I wasn't demanding people to respect me. I just wanted people to like me. And whenever you want people to like you, instead of wanting people to respect you, you end up telling people, you know what? I am a doormat. You end up telling people, you know what? I could text you and you don't have to respond because I'm still going to be positive with you. You end up telling people you could treat me like shit, you could betray me, and I'll still be your friend. I'll still be your friend because of your fear of being alone, because of your fear of confrontation. And you may not see that as you treating yourself badly, but that is treating yourself badly. People will not respect you. People will see you as a weak person.
People who consistently allow others to take advantage of them, often referred to as doormats, may be unaware of their behavior for several reasons. Low self-esteem. They may have low self-esteem and believe they don't deserve better treatment. This can stem from negative experiences in their past that have led them to devalue themselves. Fear of conflict. Some people are conflict avoidant and would rather acquiesce to another person's demands than risk a disagreement or confrontation. Need for approval. They may have an intense need for approval and acceptance from others. They might believe that by always agreeing or giving in, they will be liked more. Lack of awareness. They may not realize they're being taken advantage of if they've normalized such behavior due to past experiences. They might see it as part of maintaining relationships. Caretaker personality. Some people have caretaker personalities and derive their self-worth from helping others, even at their own expense. They might not realize when the giving becomes one-sided. Learned helplessness. This is a psychological condition where a person feels that they have no control over their situation, so they stop trying to change it, even when opportunities for change become available.
And the reason you allow this disrespect is because, one, we as humans are imitative creatures. We imitate our parents first, right? We notice what our parents like and what our parents don't like. And so we infer and use those likes and dislikes as a way to go around the world, right? We can't logically say, oh, that's good for me or that's bad for me, but we could do that through imitation. But if our parents imitates us, but if our parents negatively react to us consistently, if our parents are always treating us badly, not taking in our opinions, what do you think is going to happen to your self-esteem? You're not going to believe you deserve love. You're not going to believe you deserve to be respected by men. And then as you grow up and start socializing and going to school, you bring this same mentality to your friends, where you end up getting in the same situation with your parents, all because that's what your parents taught you to tolerate. And so how do you unconsciously communicate to people how to treat you? One, through your nonverbal cues, right? Your nonverbal cues, and this pretty much comes down to you having a defeated body language, where when you talk to people, you talk low and scared. You have almost like you don't project your voice. When you move, you move with twitchiness, like you just like there's like twitches. Your body language is more compressed. You take up less space, and when people talk to you, you give them an exaggerated smile. And also a smile that has a frown in it, where you smile like this. It's like a frown mixed in with a smile, right?
When people get taken advantage of by a partner, it's often difficult for them to recognize the situation for what it truly is. This inability to see that they've been wronged can stem from various psychological and emotional factors. For instance, love and affection can create a powerful emotional bond that may cloud their judgment. They might have a deep desire to believe in the goodness of their partner, leading them to overlook or rationalize their partner's harmful behavior. This is further complicated by manipulative tactics that an abusive or exploitative partner might employ, such as gaslighting, where they manipulate the person into questioning their own perceptions and sanity. Additionally, fear of loneliness or the impact of a breakup might lead them to tolerate unacceptable behavior. There's also the factor of low self-esteem, where the individual might feel they don't deserve better treatment. In many cases, the individual may be in denial about their situation due to the painful reality of admitting they've been used or betrayed.
But also, it's not just that. It's also when people disrespect you, you don't stand up for yourself. When people disrespect you, you don't say nothing. What do you think that says about you? You might consciously say, oh, you know, it's no big deal, or it's kind of awkward. But what that really is you having violence. It's violence towards yourself. You are being violent to yourself. You are treating yourself like you are an enemy, because that's you will like consciously. You obviously are not gonna say, oh, you know, I'm an enemy to my own self. But when you really look at the behavior, you become your own worst enemy. Because people don't have to treat you with disrespect. You could just leave them, but you stay and you take the disrespect. In fact, if you would have left, that would have communicated to them that you demand more respect, and they would have came back checked. They would have came back with a better behavior. But because you didn't do that, you told them, hey, I agreed to this contract. I agreed to getting disrespected. That's what ends up happening. You pretty much agree to the disrespect unconsciously. And so the hard part about this is understanding how we have something to do with this. That's the hard part. Because it is very difficult for me to tell you the reason why men mistreat you is because you allow it. It's difficult, right? Because we feel like the victim. But the truth is that a lot of 90% of the times, it's because it comes from us.
Abuse from a partner can be normalized through a gradual process of manipulation and control that distorts the victim's sense of reality. The abuser often starts with subtle behaviors such as criticism or jealousy, which can initially be mistaken for concern or love. Over time, these behaviors escalate, becoming more frequent and severe. As this happens, the victim may start to internalize the abuser's negative messages, leading to a decrease in self-esteem and a growing belief that they deserve the treatment they're receiving. This is often compounded by gaslighting, a manipulative tactic where the abuser makes the victim question their own perceptions, memory, and sanity. Additionally, societal and cultural norms can further normalize abuse, particularly when they reinforce power imbalances, gender stereotypes, or stigmatize victims of domestic abuse. The isolation that often accompanies abusive relationships can also make it difficult for victims to gain outside perspective and realize that what they're experiencing is not normal or acceptable. It's a complex and insidious process that can make it incredibly challenging for victims to recognize and escape the cycle of abuse.
So what would happen is that you send a signal of weakness and people say, okay, is this weakness? And so they get a little closer and they investigate and they test you, right? Even the nicest person, when they sense that weakness, they will test you. I've seen it many times. Even, for example, look at school, right? If you go to school and there's an assistant teacher and the new assistant teacher doesn't call you out on your BS, lets you get up in class, lets you interrupt, and when they stand up and say, hey, calm down, they say it in a voice that's like full of fear and full of like, oh, can you guys behave, and that kind of stuff. What that teacher is signaling to the students is that you don't have to listen to me. And so what do you think the students would do? What do you think the students are going to do? Even the best student will take advantage of it. Even the best students will pull out their Yu-Gi-Oh card deck and start playing Yu-Gi-Oh cards and tell the teacher, hey, we're learning math here, right? And the teacher, because they're used to this, will not see it as disrespect. They'll just say, you know what? They'll rationalize it in their minds and they'll say, you know what? I'll just let them do whatever they want. They'll literally not view the disrespect as disrespect, all because they don't want to stand up for themselves.
When individuals experience disrespect on a regular basis, they may not recognize it as such due to a variety of factors. One key reason could be normalization. If disrespect is a recurring part of their daily interactions, they might start to perceive it as the standard way of communication or treatment. This is particularly true if they've grown up in environments where such behavior was commonplace. Additionally, low self-esteem can play a significant role. If individuals don't value themselves highly, they may accept disrespectful behavior as something they deserve. There's also the aspect of denial or avoidance, where recognizing the disrespect would require confronting a painful reality, so they choose to ignore or downplay it instead. Furthermore, a lack of awareness about what constitutes respectful behavior can contribute to their inability to identify disrespect. They might misinterpret disrespect as honesty, frankness, or tough love. Lastly, fear of conflict or retribution might discourage them from acknowledging and standing up against the disrespect. It's a complex issue that often requires introspection, education, and sometimes professional help to fully address.
And that is an unconscious way of being violent towards yourself, accepting the disrespect. The disrespect that you accept is the disrespect that you used to giving yourself. And the solution to this is to develop self-love. One, you gotta be freaking tired of it. You gotta be up to here with the disrespect. That's the first thing. You gotta be to the point where you don't wanna see it, you don't wanna touch it, you don't wanna smell it. If anybody disrespects you, you're gonna react with an emotional intensity similar to somebody bullying your child. Not out of emotion, but out of a desire for justice. You're gonna stand up for yourself. Because if people disrespect you and you don't feel that same feeling you feel when somebody disrespects your parents or somebody disrespects your child in front of you, if you don't feel that aggressive energy that is controlled but simmering, if you don't feel that, that shows that you are used to doing that to yourself. And you're gonna communicate to people, hey, do more of that. We can't let that happen. There's too much at risk to let people do that to you. There's too much. You gotta start getting sick and tired of the disrespect. It first comes down to you getting sick and tired of it. That's it. First step is that. Once you're sick and tired of it, then you can start taking more action. Then you can start doing things or use that aggressive energy to tell people, hey, I don't like the way you're doing this right now. If you're gonna keep doing this, then I'm gonna leave.
Hitting rock bottom can be a significant turning point when it comes to changing behavior, although it's important to note that it's not a necessary desirable step for everyone. The concept of rock bottom refers to the point where an individual has reached their lowest possible position in life, usually due to destructive behaviors or decisions. This dire situation often serves as a wake-up call, forcing the individual to confront the reality of their circumstances. It strips away denial and rationalization, making it clear that a change is necessary for survival or improvement. In this state of heightened self-awareness, individuals might be more open to seeking help and making substantial changes in their life.
And what would happen is that at first, when you try to change, when you start changing the way you see yourself in a positive light, you're gonna be met with resistance from two places, from yourself and from other people. First of all, from yourself, you're gonna feel weird. It's not gonna be comfortable. You're gonna be out of your comfort zone. And most likely you will revert back to your behavior the first time you try to stand up for yourself. And that's normal. You gotta expect failure, right? The second form of resistance is from people. People naturally have placed you in a society, in a role. They see you as a mat, as a pushover, right? When we are growing up, when we unconsciously put people in a certain status, and we don't like to change that. When somebody's here, we don't like to see them move up because it threatens us.
The resistance to seeing individuals of perceived lower rank rise up the ladder can be attributed to several psychological and social factors. At the heart of it often lies fear and insecurity. Those in higher positions may worry about losing their power, prestige, or resources if others ascend. They might feel threatened by the potential competition, particularly if they've tied their self-worth to their status. This is bolstered by societal structures that reinforce hierarchies and the notion that some people are inherently more deserving of success than others. Additionally, when someone of a perceived lower rank starts acting confidently or achieves success, it can challenge existing stereotypes and biases, causing discomfort and resistance among those who hold them. It forces them to confront their prejudices and reassess their worldview, which can be an unsettling process. Furthermore, humans are creatures of habit and generally prefer stability and predictability. A change in the established social order disrupts this stability, leading to resistance. This dynamic underscores the importance of fostering a culture of equality, fairness, and mutual respect in our societies.
It's almost like when a guy that you don't like, you end up falling in love with him and then he ends up rejecting you, and in your mind you're like, bitch, I'm doing you the favor and you're the one rejecting me. That feeling of like, who the hell do you think you are, is the same reaction that people are gonna have to you trying to gain respect, to you trying to move up and gain self-love and tell people, hey, don't treat me that way. You're gonna get that reaction. They're gonna be like, bitch, please, you're bluffing. And they're gonna test you. And if you fail that test, oh my Lord, don't tell people you watch my channel. But they will test you. It's not gonna be easy. People don't like to see you move up the ranks. It's just that simple. But what will allow you to follow through is, one, your self-determination, and two, your self-love. You do it out of love for yourself. I know that this phrase sounds crazy, but love conquers all. When you develop that self-love, you'll be able to do this with much more ease. And how do you develop that? Like I always tell you guys, through the love and kindness meditation. You got one, purchase my course, Emotional Mastery, where I talk about this. You could pre-order, you could order it right now. It's a 6-week course on mindfulness meditation. Or you could search up how to do love and kindness meditation. But the point is that you first start off with that foundation. Once you give yourself the love, the gentleness, the non-violence towards yourself, you start speaking to yourself with love and kindness. All of a sudden, any person that tries to give you an energy that's any different than that, you're gonna check them. And as long as you check, and you might say, how do I check them? Don't worry about how you're gonna check them. Just make sure that you first develop that self-love, and I can promise you, the proper behavior will emanate from that mentality. Another thing that might happen is that some people might not be friends with you no more. They only like you when you're at a certain status, at a certain lower status. Some people cannot change the way they see you because they're used to that. So if you're with a guy and he disrespects you, and all of a sudden you want respect, some guys might not tolerate that because they're used to seeing you being the submissive one. Not submissive not submissive with condition, that's different, but submissive out of reaction, submissive out of fear. Some people are used to that. And some people don't like you enough to the point where they'll allow you to change for the positive. In fact, if they see you setting up for yourself, they'll leave you because they only wanted that version of yourself. Those people become your shadow. Those people become a reflection of how you really see yourself. And by them leaving you, it means that you're doing the right thing, even though it doesn't feel like it.
When someone starts to become more confident or successful, it can disrupt the established balance in a relationship. If the other person sees themselves as superior, this shift may challenge their self-perception and cause discomfort. Their sense of superiority could be tied to their self-esteem and identity, so they might react negatively to preserve their self-concept. This can manifest as distancing themselves, becoming hostile, or ending the relationship. Moreover, they might feel threatened by the other person's growth, fearing it could overshadow them or make them appear less successful in comparison. Also, jealousy can play a part. They might envy the other person's success and find it difficult to be around them because it amplifies their own insecurities or perceived shortcomings.
Even though it feels like, hey, the shit that Father Alex said didn't work. No, it worked. Changing the people around you is a reflection that you're changing how you see yourself. And heck, you might even end up being alone for some time. And then all of a sudden that fear of being alone will wake up and might cause you to relapse and take anything just because you want attention. But keep practicing love and kindness meditation. Keep saying to yourself, may you be loved, may you be free, may you be at peace. Keep doing that and self-generate that self-esteem from within yourself. And you will notice that over time, you're gonna get used to not getting positive reaction from people. And you'll realize that you could generate it from within yourself. And then once you're able to generate positive emotions from within yourself, you go out there and socialize. You go out there and talk to guys. You go out there and meet people. And you'll notice that you have almost like a self-esteem thermostat that whenever somebody tries to be disrespectful, there's almost like an inner parent, an inner man, an inner guardian within you who will stand up for you in a form of aggressiveness, not crazy aggressiveness, but an aggressiveness wherein, hey, you trying to bully my kid? Hey, is it you that hit my kid? Hey, is it you that try to do this, that try to scam my kid? That kind, it's almost like a defense, like your white blood cells, which a lot of us lack. A lot of us lack that self-esteem that defends us from other people's BS. A lot of us lack that self-esteem that allows us to cut our nose to spite our face. In other words, even though I know it's gonna hurt me, I'm gonna leave your ass. A lot of us lack that. And you develop that through love and kindness meditation, people. It's that simple. So do not let men mistreat you. Don't let men take advantage of you. Stop being so naive and stand up for yourself. Because if you don't, you're going to pay the consequences. And the consequences is that your whole life is going to be riddled with dating men who don't really love you, who don't respect you, who can never treat you with the respect you feel like you deserve. It first starts with yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror and practice love and kindness meditation. Look at other people and wish them well. Wish them love and happiness. By you doing that, you self-generate positive emotions, and those positive emotions will heal you from within. And once you start doing this, what you will notice is that your relationships will improve. The first relationship that will improve is with yourself. You're gonna end up liking yourself more. And one of the reasons is because you'll be able to look at yourself in the mirror and realize that you stood up for yourself. Nothing's worse than looking at ourselves in the mirror and realizing we've been a coward, and realizing that we're running away and being scared. There is a certain level of self-esteem that comes up whenever we know we're willing to stand up for ourselves, and that radiates from within. You're gonna end up seeing the goodness in you. You're gonna end up being able to feel happy alone. You'll notice that you'll feel like a sense of joy by just being by yourself. That is a sign that you're developing self-love. And once that happens, there's something about the laws of nature that whenever you begin to feel that way, it'll radiate from within you. And people will want to treat you the way you're treating yourself, or you won't tolerate it and you'll leave. Another big thing is that you'll be able to have relationships, and the relationship is not going to have that power balance. You know, a man can love you but not respect you. You know what I'm saying? That's completely possible. And a lot of people won't admit it, but it's when you're somebody who's a doormat, don't get me wrong, a man might still treat you with respect, but there's a certain extra level of respect that you attain when they can sense your strength. Because one of the concepts of peace is peace through strength, not through weakness, you know? And when a man can sense your strength, that, like I said, which comes through self-love and which comes through them testing you, they'll realize they find somebody who's a gem. And that will just make your relationship so much better because you have peace through strength. That's how you have peace. Not through begging, not through asking for peace. You have peace through strength. And when they can sense that strength emanating from self-love, people will either feel impelled to treat you better or they'll leave because they can't tolerate somebody having self-esteem, to be honest with you. Like some people, they'll never be in your life if you stand up against them. Like they're only there to be vultures, to take from you, you know? And so you will suffer some consequences. Some people will not tolerate it and some people will leave your life. But the point is that your life is gonna be surrounded, or better yet, you're gonna attract a man who really values you for you. It's that simple, all right? All right, anyways. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want one-on-one coaching, go to mindfulattraction.org, and I'll see you guys next time.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys haven't purchased any of my courses, we have a special bundle deal for everyone. So that you can purchase all of my courses, meaning you could purchase the psychological game of attraction, natural chemistry, and nice girl, along with all of the bonuses. Originally, if you purchase everything without the bundle, it'll be around $500 to be honest with you. But right now, if you guys purchase it with the bundle, you guys will be able to get all of these courses: psychological game of attraction, which is for women who are single; natural chemistry, which is for women who are in a relationship; Nice Girl, which is a course on assertiveness, along with all of the bonuses, social mastery, practical mastery in terms of how to master anything, social mastery in terms of how to master your social skills, and the laws of human nature, wherein it's part of the Robert Greene book club I used to have. All of these, naturally, like I said, it's $500. Now you get it at $394, which is essentially 20% off everything. But if you guys want to purchase a more affordable bundle, you guys can purchase the bundle without the bonuses, and that will be at $224 rather than the $300, well, rather than the $293 that you guys would naturally purchase it. So you could purchase it with the bundle or without the bundle. You could purchase it with the bonuses or without the bonuses. It's all of the work that I put in the last 4 years, in the last 5 years actually, all of the research that I've done. And this course, rather than watching all of my videos, and because they could be random and you could sort of like lose the big picture because there's just so many videos, you guys get all of the content condensed in a course. Trust me, people, if you guys purchase this, you won't regret it. If you haven't purchased it, hopefully this will push you towards it, because it's something that I believe in, and everyone who's purchased my course have been satisfied with it. And if they didn't like it, I always give their money back. I have never rejected a refund. All right. So purchase it right now. Click on the description down below where it says purchase the bundle, and I'll see you guys inside.